morning, students. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I hope that you all are happy and well. And be happy, be safe, be healthy at your homes, and use this time for the useful things and the meaningful things, so that these things will benefit you in the future. Okay, so I hope that you all are aware of your future also, and all the things which are going on today, and I hope that you also wanted to use this time for the better future. Okay, so in the last video, in the last lecture of class 10th syllabus of class 10th syllabus and chapter 1 of history, nationalism Europe, we had discussed 3 videos. So in this this is the last and the fourth video of this chapter, nationalism in Europe. Okay, so last time we had discussed so many things about nationalism. Okay, how nationalism had emerged in Europe and how it affects the life through the people of Europe, how nationalism emerged and a powerful force to evolve from one country to another country by Napoleon Bonaparte, and after the Vienna Congress has hosted by Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich, and a Vienna Congress was hosted by, and there were certain delegates at the Vienna Congress which of different countries like Austria, Persia, uh, Britain, and France. Okay, so many delegates of this and their representatives of the different countries who hosted the Vienna Congress. Okay, so after the Vienna Congress, basically we had discussed that after the Vienna Congress, certain ideals and the values, certain things which were re-established by the principles of the Vienna Congress or the terms of the Vienna Congress, like monarchy was restored by the European countries. Okay, and mainly the parts which were gained by France, or the territories which were gained by France had lost by it, and these territories were transferred to the different countries, like the western parts given to Russia, western part given to Persia in the west, the eastern parts of Saxony given to gave to Russia, and the northern Italy, the control of northern Italy were given to the Austria. Okay, so many things were created by the Vienna Congress, and basically Belgium was merged with the United uh, Kingdom of United Netherlands. Okay, and so many things they were completed by the Vienna Congress. Okay, and the 39 Confederation of States were left untouched, which was established by the Napoleon. Okay, so many things were discussed in the last chapter, and the revolution of 1830 to 1848, by which France has also emerged the power. France, the peoples of France want to liberate France from the monarchy. Okay, and after that we had discussed about Silesian waivers, the case of Poland, which were created by the Romanticism. Basically, there is one concept left behind the Romanticism in this topic. Okay, so we have to discuss Romanticism. In the last video, we have left one topic, that is Romanticism. Basically, Romanticism is a concept which says that rise of nationalism by the rise of some ideals and values of, like, the features of the past. Features of the past means folk tales, folk drama, folk dance, folk song, folk tales. Okay, means the increase of sentiments, the increase of nationalism, the rise of nationalism on the basis of the regaining or the glorifying ancient culture, like ancient culture, folk tales, folk dance, folk song, folk drama, folk poetry, folk literary things, all the things which were composed, that is known as Romanticism. Poland is an example. Poland is the example. Poland was the example of Romanticism. How Romanticism evolved in Poland, and a language becomes a powerful measure, so that Poland became the rise of sentiments in Poland by Romanticism. Okay, so Romanticism is a political concept. Romanticism is a cultural concept by which the increment of nationalistic ideas by glorifying the ancient culture, by glorifying or took pressure on the ancient ideas or the ancient culture, like language, like culture, like poetry, like drama, like dance, like song, like folk tales. All these things would help in increment of the nationalistic ideas. Okay, so this was the topic of romanticism, and Poland was the example of that. Basically, if we talk about Poland, then Poland was divided into certain main parts. Okay, Poland was not a nation at that time, and after that, Poland not become a nation, but on the other hand, the Poles were bound together by the culturalistic ideas in the Polish language. Okay, basically at that time, Poland, mainly the Poles areas were under control of Russia, and Russia they were used only on the Russian language. But on the other hand, the Poles people use Polish language, but the Russians want to introduce their own language of Russian. They wanted that the peoples of uh, Poland should also use and understand the Russian language. They don't want to introduce Poles as their language. Okay, but on the other hand, Poles wanted to use their own language, so the Russians repress the ideas of Polish language. So that is the case of Romanticism. Okay, so last time we had completed our so many things from the Vienna Congress or the in 1848 struggle or the 1848 revolution of France and Germany of Frankfurt Parliament. We have discussed Frankfurt Parliament also. So let's start our next concept of today, that is the nationalism in Italy and Germany. Okay, basically as you all know, before 1848 Germany and Italy were divided into several small states. Germany was also divided into small states. After that, 1848, you all know the Frankfurt Parliament was hosted by the educated middle classes, and they had introduced a constitution so that the monarchy would rule according to the rules of the constitution. But the monarchy repressed and denied all the things which control the monarchical order of Germany or Prussia. Okay, so they repress the ideas of parliament, they repress the constitution by calling out the army and by calling out the army. So after 1848, the chief minister of Prussia, that is Otto von Bismarck, he think that he must do integrate all the states of Prussia, and they would convert it into a united Germany. Okay, so after that, the chief minister of Prussia, Otto von Bismarck, took several steps to integrate all the states, to nationalize all the states of Germany or Prussia. Basically, the initiative taken by the Prussia state and to extend its influence all the areas of Prussia and all the neighboring states. So the initiative was taken by Prussia, and the work was done by the chief minister of Prussia, that is Otto von Bismarck. The king of Prussia was William Kaiser I. Okay, so after that, they take certain steps to nationalize all the states and become a powerful and national entity. Okay, so they introduce first of all, they fought 3 wars against France, Denmark and Austria to regain all the states of Germany and form a powerful and mighty Germany. Okay, so in 1871 Germany was integrated into a nation. Okay, and William Kaiser I became the Emperor of United Germany in 1871 at the Palace of Versailles, which is situated at France. Okay, so Germany was integrated, and Germany was nationalist and became a nation in 1871 after fought 3 wars with France, Austria and Denmark. Okay, so Germany was nationalized in 1871. After that, on the other case of Italy was also nationalized by the inseminating ideas of Italy was simmering through the different periods from the after the Vienna Congress. Basically, the first revolutionary who wanted to introduce their ideas in Italy was Giuseppe Mazzini. Basically, if we talk about Italy, then we can say that Italy was the nation which is divided into several states, and Giuseppe Mazzini was the first person who wanted that Italy must be Italy must become a nation. Okay, so in uh, after the Vienna Congress, Giuseppe Mazzini wanted to be the nationalistic character of Italy, so that Italy would become a nation. Okay, and by the help of different initiative, he formed Young Italy, Young Europe. He formed two organization called Young Italy and Young Europe, so that these organization would helpful to become the objective of to fulfill the objective of Giuseppe Mazzini. Okay, basically at that time, Italy was divided into several states. The northern part of Italy was under the occupation of the Austrians. Okay, the southern part of Italy were under the Bourbon kings of Spain, and the central Italy was controlled by the Pope. Okay, so the step was taken by firstly the Giuseppe Mazzini. Okay, Giuseppe Mazzini started certain movements to fulfill the idea of to become a nation of Italy. Okay, so he formed two organizations, Young Italy and Young Europe, so that he fulfill the idea of to who fulfill uh, who fulfill the idea of Italy into a nation. Okay, so the second person who involved in this thing was Giuseppe Garibaldi. Garibaldi was the Italian freedom fighter who was the best freedom fighter of Italy. Okay, he was born in 1807 in Italy, and after that he wanted Italy to be a nation. And in 1834 he met 1831 he met Giuseppe Mazzini to fulfill their aims. Okay, they started a movement against the states which were held under by the foreign forces. To so after that, but the initiative taken by the Giuseppe Mazzini and Garibaldi against the foreign forces was uncompleted or failed, because they were not have the enough power to oust or the oust of the all forces from their country. Okay, in 1834 Giuseppe Garibaldi was exiled and moved to South America by the French authorities. Okay, then after that they freed from the exile in 1848, and they come to Italy, and after that they made plans to extend their influence of Italy on all over the states. Okay, the third person who involved for the integration of Italy was Count Cavour. Okay, Count Cavour was the chief minister of the only Italian state which is ruled by an Italian king, Victor Emmanuel II. Okay, he was the chief minister. Count Cavour was the chief minister of Sardinia Piedmont, which was a state of Italian province. Okay, and it was the only state which is ruled by a Italian king, Victor Emmanuel II. Okay, so Garibaldi. So in 1859, Count Cavour made a plan to integrate the northern states and to regain the northern states from Austria. Count Cavour started a war with Austria to regain the parts of northern Italy and took back it in 1859. Okay, after that in 1860 Garibaldi and he met with Count Cavour and Victor Emmanuel II, and they started a campaign in 1860 to claim the area of southern Italy. Okay, in 1860 they marched. The Italian freedom fighter Garibaldi took the initiative to start a war against the southern Italian states, and they formed an organization called Red Shirts. Okay, and in Red Shirts they have 30,000 volunteers, so that they so that they liberate the areas of southern Italy. Okay, they war against the they war against the Bourbon kings of Spain and freed the area from the Bourbon kings. Okay, after that they had volunteered against the last obstacle in Italian nation was the Papal States of Central Italy, which was ruled under by the Pope and the other forces. But the combined forces of French and Papal States against the Garibaldi. Okay, so Gary was against the Garibaldi, and after that Garibaldi was not win at that moment. But in 1870, when Austria, when Austria, when Austria defeated France, then France took back the armies from the Italian state, and after that Italy was combined by 1870. Okay, as you all know, I taught you earlier that Germany was integrated and become a nation in 1871, and Italy was become a nation in 1870. Okay, so these two states were completed. After that, the case of we studied the case of Great Britain. Okay, basically, if we talk about Britain was British, or Britain was an British was an Iceland. Okay, of different states or different identities. Like they were whole different states like England, Scotland, Wales, and uh, Ireland. Okay, so basically these were the small states which were ruled by different peoples, and they have different culture and different language and different distinct ideas and values. Okay, after the glorious revolution of 1688 of Britain, the parliament has the authority to enact all the laws in Britain after they taking the power from the monarchy to the parliament in 1688. After the members of the English members in parliament has increased. Okay, so due to that, they after the 1688, so basically at that time the English parliament took the initiative to merge Scotland with the England. Okay, in 1707, an act was formed called an Act of Union in 1707 to merge Scotland with England. Okay, after that they took an eye on the Ireland. Okay, so basically now they extend its influence on Ireland. Okay, so Ireland, basically if we talk about Ireland, then Ireland is a country of two types of communities, that is one Protestant and the another one is Catholic. Basically England was a Protestant country, so they took the support of Protestants of Ireland, and they extend its influence upon the Ireland. So they provoke the ideas of Protestant, and Protestant wants against the Catholics, and they also defeat the United Irishmen of Walton in 1798, and Ireland was also merged with England in 1801. Okay, so after that, United Kingdom would become a nation, and the national flag, United Kingdom United Kingdom had their independent national flag, Union Jack, the national song of God Save Our Noble King, and the English language was introduced to all the to over the empire. Okay, so Britain was also merged by the concept of nationalism. So these were the three states at that time which were became nation states: Italy, Germany, and Britain. Okay, after that, the second last topic of this chapter is visualizing nation through a female figure. Okay, basically at the time of nationalistic ideas, certain artists and certain painters of different countries made different paintings to personify a nation through a female figure. Okay, like we see in France, where an artist made an image or a painting called Mariana. Okay, so Mariana was the painting which is used to personify France as a nation. Okay, that was the mother of France. The mother, they were shown the female figure as a nation, Mariana. Okay, so that the peoples were accepted this as their mother, and freed the country from the foreign forces. Okay, so like the similar concept our nationalistic leaders used, like Bharat Mata concept. Bharat Mata was introduced so that our nationalist sentiment increased, so that in France, okay, in France certain artists used the made the image of Mariana, and by the help of Mariana they wanted to liberate, they wanted to use the nation as a image or a painter. Okay, the similar concept was used in Germany, where Germania image was created. As we see in 1848 Frankfurt Parliament, the Germania painting or image was used to personify the German Empire. Okay, so in Philip Witt, an artist, made the image of Germania. Okay, by the help of Germania, he signify and he personify the German nation. Okay, in the Germania image, the Germania have a sword, had a sword. Sword means the German strength. In the Germania had a crown was uh, a crown was there, a crown of oak leaves means heroism. Okay, on the breast, in the breast of Germania there was a German plate called as the this was shown to increase to show the German strength. Okay, so basically there were certain images used by different artists to personify, to show the nation as a female figure, like we see in Germany and we see in France. Okay, the last topic of this chapter is basically the last topic of this chapter is nationalism and imperialism. Okay, basically first of all we have to understand nationalism, and as we know, we understood all the term of nationalism. Then this is the concept of imperialism. Imperialism is a concept when a country moves its boundary, when the country tries to extend its boundaries to regain the new territories in their own country, so that is known as imperialism. What is known as imperialism? Imperialism simply means when a country tried to extend its boundaries and made the new territories to merge with their country, so that is known as imperialism. That is the case of the Balkan region. Let's take the example of Balkan region. In Balkan region, basically Balkan was the region which had geographically and culturally have different nations of different peoples and different nation. But at that time they were not nation, they were under the domination of Ottoman Empire or Ottoman Turks Empire. Okay, so at that time there were certain peoples of different states were there. The Balkan states comprise of Romania, Bulgaria, Albania, Greece, Macedonia, Montenegro, okay, Serbia, Slovakia, and Croatia. Okay, there were certain countries. These countries were under the foreign domination of Ottoman Turks, and they all reside under one empire from the times of the when Ottoman Empire became powerful in the 15th century. Okay, and they were under the control of the Ottoman Empire till 15th century. Okay, so after that the big powers of Europe, big and powerful powers of Europe like Russia, Austria, Germany, and Britain, they want to extend its influence on the Balkan region. They provoke the sentiments and ideas of the Balkan people, and they provoke so that they became independent nations from the Ottoman Turks occupation, and after that they must be controlled by the foreign power from the European big powers. Okay, so they provoke the sentiments and nationalistic ideas of the Balkan region, and the Balkan region, due to that there were certain devastating consequences of that the Balkan region was also independent by the Ottoman Turks, and after that the First World War was also occurred due to the Balkanization. Okay, so basically nationalism emerged with nationalism emerged with imperialism, and to created the condition for the First World War. Okay, so basically these states claim their own territories, and they have to make their independent nations on the basis of their glorious past. They wanted that they must be free from the Ottoman Turks Empire, and after that they wanted to make their independent nations. But the big powers of Europe extend their influence upon the whole of Balkans, and after that Balkan issue was a very crucial and very serious issue, and after that the First World War was also created or occurred due to the Balkanization, due to the Balkan issue. So Balkan issue is the very issue till date, and there is an intense rivalry among these nations because of the big powers provoke their sentiments and nationalistic ideas. Okay, so basically this is the last topic of this chapter, and I hope that you all understand all the concept of nationalism, how nationalism has emerged from France, and how is taken from France to the different countries, and how nationalism emerged as a powerful and driving force to remove the obstacle of small states and form their big entities. Okay, nationalism emerged from France, and from France it affect the different countries of Europe, and different countries of Europe made different nations. Like France become a nation, after that British become a nation. Okay, after that Germany, Italy, Britain, Germany, Italy, and all the Balkan states become a nation states on the basis of the French model. Okay, so basically if we talk about nationalism, that nationalism is a concept which is very powerful guiding force in the started from the 17th century, and it wholly affect all the it wholly affect the heart ideas and sentiments till to the 20th or the till to the 20 till to the end of the 20th century. Okay, so basically nationalism emerged as a powerful force to implement the democratic ideals from the earliest time, but in the last phase of nationalism it proves to be very devastating consequences in Second World War, or in the First World War, or in the Second World War also. Okay, so I hope that you all understand all the concepts of nationalism, how nationalism has emerged, and how it affects the Europe. Okay, I hope that you all understand, and if you have any doubt, any query regarding any topic of nationalism in Europe, then you can ask in the comment section, and also call my personal number. Okay, okay, so bye.